Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the day 44 summary for the 8th of April. So current time is around 5 a.m., just over 5 a.m. in Ukraine. Doing this summary a bit earlier because later I need to go football, so I want to uh, finish this thing first. And because we are doing this experiment now, as I have announced and shared yesterday's yesterday's summary. So someone in my Discord say please do not say the smash the like button. So I gotta say please smash the like button, and yeah, just click the like button please, to because we are doing this experiment. I'm hoping to get 2,000 over likes per video for the next maybe 2-3 days. I'm gonna post one video unless there's something very significant that have happened. That will do a quick update as well, but I'm trying to keep it to just one summary for these 3 days, because for experimental sake, to see whether the like button actually makes a difference to the this YouTube algorithm in terms of sharing to new viewers. Because I know you guys, most of you guys are hardcore supporter of my work, and then you guys always come back on a daily basis. I can tell from the statistics, so I'm very grateful. But by not able to reach new viewers means the channel will gonna grow very slowly, and this will affect the plans for the future. Let's say if I want to provide more content, more information about things outside of Ukraine, then I'm gonna have problem, because lack of revenue, which will mean that I have to continue to focus a lot on my professional work outside of DPA, and that will be difficult, and I will not be able to hire new help. So this is just an experiment for 2-3 days, because why 2-3 days? Because the statistics don't appear after only they will appear only after 2-3 days. So it doesn't appear immediately. So which is why we should keep at it for 2-3 days to have a trend, and then see we can actually see anything. And I will share the conclusion to you, so you actually learn something about YouTube as well. So okay, coming to the summary. And for those people who hates this part, I'm so sorry. You can press the dislike button. I understand. I understand. Yeah. So press the like button and smash it if you think smash is a better way to do it. Okay. So quite a little bit of things had happened. So let's do some missile strikes first. The Russians strike at the Foreign Legion facility again. So this time round is at Krasnoselka. This is they use, according to the Defense Ministry of Russia, they say they use the Bastion coastal missile, which is actually fired from here. Sorry, where? Okay, here. Yeah, usually it's around here. This is where they fire this is actually where they have the Bastion coastal missiles. They actually launch a missile and strike here. The location is quite unclear, because it's a very small town or village. They say it's in the northeast, the northeast of Odessa. Sorry, it's northeast of Odessa. I'm so sorry. So I thought it's the northeast of the town. So it hit somewhere. According to Ukrainian sources, they say that the one of the Ukrainian sources say that he did not report about this, because he thinks that there's nothing about this, because he so-called talking to the locals, and the locals say that there's nothing there. So he thought it's not important about the explosion, but somehow the defense ministry actually reported about this. So he have done some doubts. So this is the Ukrainian view, pro-Ukrainian view, and I cannot deny that there is a possibility. So there's also a missile strike on the Kherson air base. So the Russian defense ministry say that they have destroyed some aircraft, aviation equipment, whatever that's supposed to mean. So in this air base around here, so you can see this is actually a military air base. You can see the bombers. So at this area, so interestingly, the name is, sorry for the zooming, is Kropyvinske, and is called Kirovograd in the past. So sometimes I get very confused, because I'm quite I like to read about World War II in the past, and all these names feel so much more familiar than all these Ukrainian names. Okay, okay, where else? Let's go to Kramatorsk first. So the viral stuff is the bombing of a missile strike on Kramatorsk railway station. So a lot of civilians are killed and many more are injured. I think I vaguely remember it's around 30 over died in this missile strike. And the missile is a Tochka-U. So Tochka-U have been a very controversial subject throughout this war, because the Ukrainians operates it and they keep accusing the Russians of using Tochka-U, but the Russians keep saying they do not use Tochka-U because they have already replaced it with Iskander, which is a much more modern and more powerful missile system. And the Ukrainians just refuse to accept that, and they just keep accusing the Russians of using Tochka-U to attack civilian targets. And so I will talk about the Tochka-U in a while more. So there's a Russian analyst immediately did some analysis. So they say that the strike on the station on Kramatorsk is actually inflicted by a Ukrainian missile battalion in the village of Dobropilia, and they say that the territorial defense of the DPR reports in reference to the defense ministry. So okay, so basically is the idea is to strike to disrupt the departure of the residents, to use it so that they will stay and use them as a human shield. To the Russian statement in full. So actually, I actually kind of, maybe I've copied the wrong one. So there is an analyst before even the defense ministry came out with the statement, actually analyzed that the missile actually came from the southwest, and that was quite surprising to me. Then after that, then I saw the Russian statement, which actually corroborates what their analysis is. How they tell is through the tail of the missile, and the way how it landed. They can kind of understand where the missile actually came from, the general direction. So I think I copy and paste the wrong source. Anyway, let me read briefly on what the Russians say. So they say they literally just point at Ukrainian armed forces struck the Kramatorsk railway station with the Tochka-U tactical missile. So the Ukrainian side actually, I didn't read the statement or hear the statement myself in the beginning. It was reportedly that Zelensky actually said the Russians used a Iskander missile on the railway station. Then after that, photos came out with the tail of Tochka-U, and then they actually changed their wordings to Tochka-U. However, I cannot verify this because I did not actually see that statement myself. I only saw the alleged pointing of finger that Zelensky actually changed his words. So I can't verify that. So I just want to tell you I saw that, and then of course the Ukrainians point fingers at the Russians, saying that they purposely try to hit the civilians. And then in the Tochka-U tail section, they actually write for the children. So this is obviously very meant for provocation, because they literally wrote that word for the children at the tail end, which they know that the missile tail end will not be destroyed. It will be actually landing nearby. So either the Ukrainians are very evil or the Russians is very evil in that sense. So reading on, they say the wreckage is found at the Kramatorsk railway station, and then they emphasize that this Tochka-U is only used by the Ukrainian armed forces. So they actually point out that the maximum range of Tochka-U is 120 kilometers. So let's measure 120 kilometers. So 100, that's very far. So 130 kilometers is this is actually a massive range. It's almost pointless to point this out. But of course I want to say that the Russian analysts, right, actually say that the engine of the missile continued to run for like 20-25 seconds. Then they say that the maximum time it runs is around 100 over seconds or something like that. So they use that to kind of measure how far the missile have flew. I didn't copy and paste that source here. I think I shared it in the Telegram group. May have shared it. So anyway, that's not important for now. So basically, they actually shared about the missile. They say it's 482 kilometers. They contain 20 fragmentation warhead, each 7.5 kg. Then they will actually explode into 16,000 fragments. This is how so many civilians just like lie down on the floor and die. The way how they died is very similar to the one that was launched at Donetsk. I think 1-2 weeks earlier, where the DPR government building was hit, and then the people were like gathering below it, and then many people have died. Even people inside a bus have died, and they just died like without very obvious wounds. From the photos, it doesn't seem like it's not so clear how they die, but they die. So they said that they talk about how the fragment is actually a Tochka-U because of how the tail is designed. They have in the middle part there's actually another tail, which the Iskander do not have. So anyway, they say according to intelligence report, this is very convenient if you ask me. They say that it's one of the division of the 19 Missile Brigade armed with Tochka-U system is actually located in Dobropol with actually Dobropilia. So 45 kilometers southwest. Let's fact check him. Oh yeah. Okay, so not bad about there. And this area is still under full Ukrainian military control. So they stress that they have the Ukrainians has a significant arsenal of Tochka-U missiles. So they say that before the start of the war, I mean special military operation, not a war, the Kiev region has 20 Tochka-U missiles with 2 launcher each. So I believe this means the vehicle. So they have 20 vehicles, and they said 8 rocket launchers and 90% of the missiles were destroyed during the operation. So I'm quite surprised how specific they are. And they said that this weaponry, so they still have 12 then, still provided a huge threat against population areas. So I cannot just believe the Russians at their words, if you ask me. But it's just interesting that before this statement came out, the Russian analysts actually correctly estimated the range and the distance and the direction that the missiles came in. But of course, who knows, they also might be working for the Russian government, and they might be in cahoots, coming out with all this misinformation. However, so coming back to Tochka-U, why I actually don't think it's a Russian launch thing, and I don't really think the Russians actually use Tochka-U in the war, unless they purposely reserve it only for provocation, is that you actually do not see the wreckage of Tochka-U missiles at all. I haven't seen them in the Ukrainian territory. That means like they got hit by a Tochka-U and then they took photo of the wreckage. No, that does not exist. Not, at least not from my observation. So unless I missed it, I haven't really seen Tochka-U wreckages in Ukrainian military positions. That means the Russians actually use it on them. So that is somewhat of a corroboration that the Russians actually do not use it. The only time that I see Tochka-U wreckage is from the Russian side, where they actually show Tochka-U wreckage in Donetsk and some of the other cities in Donetsk and Luhansk, where they got struck by Tochka-U missiles. And then especially famous one is the one at Donetsk, where the civilians got killed. And then of course the Ukrainians immediately pointed that that's a false flag, and then the Russians actually used Tochka-U on the Donetsk people themselves. For whatever reason, I don't understand. So similarly, why I do not believe this is a Russian false flag or Russian provocation, or you can say massive no attack against civilians, it's because it just doesn't conform to the patterns of behavior of the Russians. Imagine the Russians spend quite a lot of money and resources to take care of civilians. They send humanitarian aids even to Izyum while under artillery strikes, and also all, of course, across all the different towns and cities that they actually captured, also villages. They send in humanitarian aids. They also provide medical help, and I and and this is the image they want to portray. I'm not saying that they actually did it. I'm just saying that this is something that they was reportedly done, and from the video evidence and photos, it seems like that's actually what had happened. But but this is the branding, and the image that the Russians want to push to the world, especially to the people that is in Ukraine, especially the locations that they are trying to capture. And this strike will be totally out of character. That it's like, what are you going to fulfill by doing this? That it doesn't really fulfill anything, unless you are saying that they are playing some kind of 4D chess and say they fire a Tochka-U onto Kramatorsk, and then they say it is the Ukrainians that fired the Tochka-U into Kramatorsk. Then you are trying, so that means, in that sense, in that kind of storyline, means the Russians are trying to demonize the Ukrainians for being evil, which the people here already know, because the people in Donetsk and Luhansk are the ones that are trying to leave Ukraine, and I mean, they should know better, right? So it's just some kind of a very contradictory kind of thing. Is, of course, the pro-Ukrainian crowds will not be able to agree and accept that the Ukrainians are capable of doing this kind of thing, to shoot at civilians and stuff like that. So it really comes back to, do you believe that there are extremist elements within the Ukrainian armed forces, and the allegedly neo-Nazis? I heard that I cannot say certain words anymore because that will result in being blacklisted. So I shall now start to call them neo-Nazis. So the neo-Nazis will. Do you believe if they exist in the Ukraine armed forces? Then it's really up to the perspective. For me, I'm just reporting that there's a missile strike. The Ukrainians say it's the Russians say it's the Ukrainians. So that's it. Wow, I talk so much about this issue. So okay, let's move on to this front. There's nothing happened in the Kharkiv front. There is no update in terms of the Izyum area, the fighting. At least the fighting, there's no updates. But I did see the intel from the Russian sources that the Ukrainians are accumulating a huge force. Of course, this large military formation is a subjective thing. I'm not sure what do they mean by large. In the village of Velikaya Kamyshavka. So this actually in Ukrainian is actually Velika Komishuvaka. Then so which also kind of explain why the Russians did not go through this direction, because there's a strong position of the Ukrainians around here to prevent a move northward towards the south of Kharkiv, which is what all these positions are doing. They are all blocking the roads to Kharkiv. So maybe the forces here are doing the same thing. And of course, if there's a build-up of forces, we might actually expect a Ukrainian offensive towards Topovsky and Malakomishuvaka to take back this territory and probably cut off the advancing forces from Izyum. According to one of the things that I have read from the Russian sources, after the taking of Topovsky, and then the Ukrainians did try to do some counter-offensive, but they all have failed. And then the Ukrainians actually withdraw, and they resort mainly to airstrikes and missile strikes. So it's interesting to see that the Ukrainian Air Force is really still operating, and so that kind of invalidated my opinion and my analysis that the Ukrainian Air Force is basically non-existent. So they are actively using Air Force. So that's very interesting to me. Talking about Air Force, okay, never mind. I'll talk about it later. So that's it for the Izyum Front. Moving on to the Luhansk Front. The biggest news in the Luhansk Front is actually the capture of Novotoshivske. Correct. So this, they actually finally captured this location, and they are very happy. They claim that this is now they have the clear road to Lysychansk. So maybe they are talking about just this road. I thought they will still have to capture Kherson and also Orihov. So I'm not sure why they are so confident. And I actually want to show you a video. Whoops. Okay, let me see. So this is a video of the no man's land. This is a video of the road. Let me off the sound. No sound. Later I got demonetized. Okay, so this is a no man's land. Basically, you can see all these holes. These are all artillery shells, artillery hits. So you can see this is a massive battleground. This is technically almost like World War One, and you can see the trench line around here. This is a congruent trench line. It stretches all the way into the horizon. You can see that this trench line continues all around here. This is technically World War One kind of war. Let us know. As you can see, the trench line continues. So this location is allegedly around the region of Novotoshivske. I'm not sure. This is not apparent on this Google map satellite image. I'm not sure it's behind or in front. So but they say that so they actually captured this location, and they also, so importantly, they actually say they captured an important stronghold near the village of this location. So the stronghold is actually the along the trench line, and they say that this will help them open up the way to Lysychansk. And now I can actually show you another video of the Eastern Front, and I think you'll find that interesting as well. So I want to show you this video partly on to show you that how powerful a trench line is. These are actually soldiers. Can you see them? These are soldiers. And you can see the artillery strike actually is very close to them. You see he's moving. You can see they are moving. They saw and heard the artillery strike. They are trying to move on to a safer location. And I can show you another one. So this is another one. This is a continuation of just now that one. And they actually move from there to here. And because of the drone, the Russian drone, they are able to see exactly where they are, and they are trying to adjust the artillery to try to hit them. But as you can see, being in the trench, right, totally protects them from the artillery shell. You see the artillery shell can only hit one small little hole, you can see. And it doesn't really affect, despite they are actually so near, just meters away in the trench line. This is how powerful a trench can be as a defensive position. Unless you have a very direct hit into the trench, you're not going to kill these soldiers that are inside this trench. The most you can concuss them if you have a artillery hit that is very close to the trench position. Then they probably will have they'll lose their hearing and some bleeding on the ear, but they're not going to die. They're still able to fight. They just can't hear anything. And this is why this entire front is so difficult, because this entire front is just this kind of a fighting environment, and it is extremely difficult for the Russians to penetrate through. In the past, they used tanks to bash through. However, is the advanced anti-tank missiles just made it impossible for tanks to just roll over the trench line. Getting no near to the trench line. In fact, maybe 1-2 kilometers away from the trench line, you already be fired with anti-tank missiles. So that is the kind of scenario that the Russian and the Donetsk Luhansk forces is actually facing. So you have to give credits to the Ukrainian side for having such well defended and fortifications and entrenchments, making advance literally difficult, and this actually kind of makes it really ugly for the image of the Russian forces, because they are constantly being referred to as the second most powerful military. Some say it's third, because some say the Chinese are better, but in my opinion, they are the second strongest, and the slow advance actually kind of destroy their image and the myth of how powerful they are. But the reality is, modern weapons just make tanks even more difficult to be used, like how they were used in World War II or in World War One, for that matter. So no news regarding Troitsky and Popasna. There are some rumors of the Popasna being captured, but I still haven't seen that yet. So I don't think that rumor is correct. Moving down to Donetsk Front, no news regarding all these locations. You can just imagine the same kind of scenario as the video just now. It just repeats itself all across this entire region. So so just now the trench line that I was showing you, I believe this one, right, that I was showing you, this one was actually from Marinka. It's actually from around this region. So I cannot verify the exact location if it's really from Marinka, but at least you saw the video, you know that that's how it looks like in terms of the entire front. No news regarding these locations. The Russians are now, I think as reported yesterday, they had encircled Voleda, and they are now trying to take it. They are literally, I saw post that talking about they are trying to clear up the city here, this little town here. No news regarding this area. Oh yeah, I almost missed this icon. So the interesting news around this region is that there's a Sukhoi 27 of the Ukrainians getting shot down near Novo-Mikhailovka. So it's a Novo-Mikhailivka, and it's getting shot down. So Sukhoi 27 is rather interesting. That means that the Ukrainians still have air force, and that is just so puzzling, to me. But all credits to them, they are still managed to fuel air force now. Moving south to Mariupol. So there is photos and videos. I'm not sure if it's you can call them journalists, but actually by this Telegram group, the people is now there, and they are taking video and photos of this port area. There's also a photo that they stand here and take photo towards this direction, showing the entire beautiful beach. And so as per my usual way, I will give it a 2 kilometers buffer, and that's where I cut the line now. So the Ukrainians are now being pushed all the way north, and this encirclement is getting smaller and smaller. So the Ukrainians are definitely still in Azovstal, and the Chechens are threatening to use even heavier weapons on them if they do not surrender. There is also talk about flooding the lower levels, so that they can drive them out or kill them, and they might also just use more deadly weapons against these entrenched positions. No news regarding all these other locations, although the Chechen leader actually said 98% of Mariupol has been captured. Not sure if his maths is correct, because that sounds like this entire area does not exist, only this part is still around. So another something interesting from the Ministry of Defense of Russia. They said that let's see, they have radio intercepts that shows that in addition to the naughty boys from the what should I substitute this word with, the Atov battalion, as well as the remnants of the Ukrainian armed forces, there is a significant numbers of foreign mercs in the city. So they say that in addition to Ukrainian and Russian language being used in radio communications, there's 6 other different languages, mostly Europeans or foreign languages. So they say that these are clear. They say it is not the defenders of so-called European values who are now blockaded in the city, but foreign mercs. So arriving to do something for money, and then using human armor made of civilians. So anyway, they say that the Kiev government refused to withdraw the fighters from Mariupol, and they are very confident that it will certainly be liberated by the troops of Donetsk and the Russian armed forces. So this is significant in the sense that the Russians are now confirming that there are a lot of foreign fighters within the Ukrainian forces that is still holding out in Mariupol. So this is the news for Mariupol. Don't have anything else there. Moving on to the southern front, the South Park front, and there is 2 TB2, Beretta TB2 shot down over Khyber, and then there is also, so this was in continuation of what I reported yesterday. 1 was shot down here, so now 2 is shot down, and then interestingly is there's 2 helicopters shot down. It's a Mi-8 and a Mi-24 near Staraya Zborevska. So it's actually in Ukrainian, it's actually Nova Zborevska. So what is interesting is the location of the shot down. They are actually shot down south of the Dnipro River, which means that this might be an operation to try to land forces in south of Kherson and south of Dnipro River to attack the rear of the defense line. So from this action, we can confidently say that the Ukrainians are actively trying to attack and trying to do this offensive against the Russian forces. So not sure if they successfully landed anyone because they only shot down 2. It's hard to imagine they only have 2. And this is also reported, this combination of Mi-8 and Mi-24 was also shot down near, I think, Kherson, right? From yesterday, from my memory. So it's interesting, this combination appears again. And not sure if they successfully landed any troops. If they do, then it's going to create some kind of a very uncomfortable situation for the Russians, because it'll be like a mosquito flying around, and they will be engaging in guerrilla warfare, maybe hiding out along all these ridges or unknown locations, and trying to hit supply trucks and reinforcements. So this could be possible. So it's like a commando raid kind of thing. So we let's see if we will get any more information regarding this commando style insertion. And so there is also reports of helicopter operations near Sinihurivka from the Russian sources. They say that several group of the reserve corps of the armed forces of Ukraine has been transferred to the area by Mi-8 helicopters. So we can also see that there are still significant amount of helicopter force in the Ukrainians, which is really surprising. So I have to stop saying that it's surprising. Anyway, they landed around, not inside, somewhere around there, and then they're probably going to do a new offense. Not sure they actually have any armor to support them in this push. So this quick insertion may kind of confirms that Snihurivka is actually now taken by Russians. There's a Ukrainian Twitter account. They were challenging me about the capture of Snihurivka. He said he didn't see anything about this. So for me I just want to clarify in terms of my methods. If I see a rumor and I feel that this rumor is believable, I will actually indicate it in the map until it is invalidated by a newer information. I will leave it at this. So this is the way for us to able to see the general picture of what's actually happening. If we only depend on our official information, we are not going to get this map at all. So this is the way how I capture the information. If you are not happy about it, then there's nothing I can do. You can actually check out the other YouTubers. They are also doing all this mapping. I'm sure they have their own ways as well. No news regarding this Pravdani or Pravdine fighting. And the another news is that the Mykolaiv mayor claims that their railway station is now disabled. So in this statement from this Russian source, they say that the city railway station in the near future will not be able to resume work. So according to him, the building did not receive critical damage. However, the strike disabled the infrastructure that ensured the functioning of the facility, including the nearby oil depot. So this could also be a misinformation. I just want to tell you that from the mayor himself, so that they can stop getting hit by missiles in this region. So I wouldn't take this word for it for sure, but the destruction of this railway can also means that reinforcement to Mykolaiv will be slowed down. So we shall see. But I got a feeling that this sounds a bit like a misinformation. So but I have to report it. So no news regarding the Pashtenka one. So I think in another day or two, that if I did not see any more things, I will just delete it. And so this one I've reported. So I think I covered mostly everything. So I forgot to add another one, which is actually the Slovakia. Yeah. Confirmed sending of heavy weapons to Ukraine. So basically, so what happened is that both Czech Republic and Slovakia have officially I'm not sure how official is the Czech one, but it's actually confirmed to Reuters that they have been delivering heavy weapons to Ukraine. So heavy weapons, I'm talking about tanks, MLRS. This is a multiple launch rocket system, if you do not know. Haubitze is artillery, and IFV is infantry fighting vehicles. So basically armored vehicles that are not tanks. So they say that it's worth over hundreds of millions of dollars. And in terms of the videos, we can actually see that they're actually delivering 5 times T-72 and 5 times BMP-1. And they say that this is not the first deliveries of heavy weapons. So they are loading it in the video. They are loading it into the train, and then they are going to deliver it through use the train, and then into Ukraine. Similarly, Slovakia also have posted a video of them sending heavy weapons and loading them onto trains. So we can be assured that there are heavy weapons flowing into Ukraine, mostly from former Soviet countries. And this also shows that without a doubt, Poland definitely sent a lot of stuff into Ukraine as well. So this could also show that the Ukrainians actually suffered a lot of casualties in terms of armored vehicles and tanks getting destroyed, and they desperately requires reinforcement from the friendly countries. So basically, this is the summary for the day of 44, and so for the for the new viewers that have never seen this channel before, please do sub, and subscribing actually helps the channel. And for those that have been coming back, please do subscribe, because not subscribing will mean that my videos will be less likely to be verified, will be shared to you actually. And so subscribing also helps to support my channel. And for everyone, and please smash the like button. No, I'm just joking. Please just press the like button, and to help to continue this experiment for the next maybe 2-3 days, to see whether liking a button actually makes any difference to YouTube, sharing this channel's video to new viewers. So this is something that I'm very curious, and I hope that you guys can support this experiment. I will report the results of this experiment to you when I saw the data. So I think I will need maybe around 3 days of data to see whether it works. So which means we have 3 more days to go, because yesterday is the first day. So we need 4 days before we can see 3 days of analytics. Once I have it, I will show you and see whether we actually made a difference. So I'm very grateful for all the likes yesterday. It was probably the most likes ever for a video from this channel. So the power of the crowd is amazing, and I'm very thankful for all your support. I think I didn't miss out anything else now. So this is the end of the summary for day 44, and I will see you in the next update.